I wouldn't want to do that because that'll tarnish his legacy as well as my legacy.
You're supposed to want to stay retired and relax and have a nice life.
I changed my mind.
Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career.
Floyd Mayweather has criticized Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to the ring at age 46 to face Mario Barrios, calling it a mistake that could tarnish his legacy. Mayweather suggested that Pacquiao's comeback is motivated more by money than a desire for glory, and warned that stepping back into the ring past his prime could undermine the greatness he's already achieved.
Whereas Pacquiao, at his age, which is sad that he has to fight.
An analyst suggests that Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring at 46 is less about chasing boxing glory and more about savvy marketing. The upcoming fight against Mario Barrios is viewed as a strategic play to capitalize on Pacquiao's legendary name, with expectations that it will generate significant revenue and attention, regardless of the bout's actual competitive stakes.
Of course, we don't want permanent injury po kahit kahit po kay Ann po, but I want him to be knockout. But the reason why I wanted that to happen is that if Manny Pacquiao is really considering of coming back to professional boxing, I think that would be a good measurement and sign and a marketing for him when he returned to boxing.
At nearly 46 years old, Manny Pacquiao is preparing for a professional return to the ring against Mario Barrios, a move that has ignited intense debate across the boxing world. Fans and analysts alike are questioning the wisdom of staging a comeback so late in his career. In his most recent exhibition bout, Pacquiao showed clear signs of ring rust and a noticeable decline in speed, appearing far removed from his prime. Now, as he prepares to face a young, hungry champion, the Filipino legend faces growing skepticism, not only about his chances of winning, but also about the true motivations behind his return.
So Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao are finalizing a deal to fight in the summer. Now Manny Pacquiao is, I think, close to 40 years old, if not already 40. Why is he still boxing? We've seen how he looked in his last exhibition against Ampo. I'm telling you right now, if this fight ever happens, which it probably will, this fight will happen, most likely. If he gets in there with Barrios, he's gonna get whooped and possibly even stopped. Let me know what y'all think about this fight down below. Manny's already done the most legendary thing you could ever do in boxing. 8-division world champion. No one's ever done that. Probably no one will ever do it again. So why does he want to keep fighting these young guys? I don't know, man. I don't know. But let me know what y'all think went down below.
Manny Pacquiao has stated that his return to the ring isn't driven solely by competition or money. Instead, he shared that he came to realize boxing still holds love for him and that he still loves the sport in return. After spending years in political life and stepping away from active competition, Pacquiao says he now feels the ring calling him back, reigniting the passion that defined much of his legendary career.
Supposed to want to stay retired and relax and have a nice life.
I changed my mind and I realized thinking that the boxing still love me and I love boxing, so why not? I'm not continuing my journey in boxing.
A lot of people have the question how busy you are as a senator, and how is that going to play into you preparing for a fight? Because preparing for a fight takes your heart and your soul, and you already have a very difficult job as a senator.
Just time management, discipline. I can still manage working in the Senate and then training.
I'm curious.
Pacquiao isn't returning to the ring merely for nostalgia. He's made it clear that his goal is to close his boxing chapter with a statement. He envisions a final run that ends in victory and possibly even another world title. For a fighter who has already cemented his place in boxing history, finishing his career on a high note is more than just
We've been able to see Mayweather showcase so much.
Pacquiao wants his final moment in the sport to reflect triumph, not decline.
WBC President Mauricio Suleiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list, you know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, who's the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion. So who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
Adding fuel to the ongoing conversation, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. took a jab at Floyd Mayweather's legacy, specifically questioning the significance of his win over Manny Pacquiao. Jones suggested that Mayweather's victory came against a version of Pacquiao who was already past his prime, and implied that it shouldn't be hailed as a triumph over the Filipino icon at his peak.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much money.
YouTuber Showbiz the Adult once recounted an awkward encounter with Floyd Mayweather, where he attempted to suggest that Manny Pacquiao, or any other fighter, might rival or surpass Floyd in greatness. According to Showbiz, Mayweather quickly shut him down, and even threw out accusations that Pacquiao had used performance-enhancing drugs. The exchange highlights Mayweather's insistence on maintaining his position at the top of boxing's all-time greats, and suggests a possible insecurity about Pacquiao's enduring legacy.
We go! Who's greater than me? I said, Sugar Ray Robinson. He said, Sugar Ray Robinson, how many wins he got? I said, he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for a minute. He said, but who got more championship titles? Me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. He said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you fake. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest, Floyd.
Pacquiao's return hasn't been universally embraced, with many fans expressing disappointment and concern that he may tarnish his celebrated career. Social media is filled with reactions ranging from heartfelt worry about his health to disbelief that he would take such a risk at this stage of life. The boxing community remains divided. Some admire his courage and competitive spirit, while others criticize the decision as a gamble that could overshadow his legacy.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is a done deal. Fight will either happen July 19th or July 26th in Las Vegas or San Antonio. And it's not going to be a pay-per-view. It's going to be free on Amazon Prime. Whew. We blast Jake Paul for these types of fights. And yet a current world champion and Mario Barrios is going to go after Manny Pacquiao. Listen, I get it. You get to share the ring with the legend of Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest to all ever do it. But he's been retired now. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Manny Pacquiao did not look good in his previous exhibition he did last year either. Mario Barrios should easily run laps around Manny Pacquiao, destroy him. Why are we wasting time with this type of fight? It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Pacquiao hasn't held back when it comes to Floyd Mayweather either. He's taken subtle shots at Mayweather's string of exhibition bouts, implying they lack genuine sporting merit. Pacquiao has suggested that Floyd is more interested in chasing easy money than building on his legacy, hinting that Mayweather's need to stay relevant might finally be catching up with him. These pointed remarks underscore the lingering tension between the two icons, a rivalry that remains unresolved even a decade after their long-awaited bout. While Mayweather continues to remind the world he defeated Pacquiao, many of Manny's fans maintain the fight came too late to be truly meaningful, keeping the debate alive to this day.
Manny Pacquiao he's not a better fighter than me.
Floyd, what is your assessment of Manny Pacquiao and his shoulder injury?
Come on. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Excuses, excuses, excuses. He was throwing combinations. Everything seemed just fine. He lost. He know he lost. I lost a lot of respect for him. You know, you fight. If you lose, it's okay. Mayweather was the better man. We fight 10 times, I'm gonna win 10 times. We fight 20 times, I'm gonna win 20 times. We fight 100 times, I'm gonna win 100 times. Manny Pacquiao, you're not on my level. Manny Pacquiao, you will never be on my level. Period. Simple and plain. It's okay to be number 2. It's okay to be right behind me. It's okay. I won. I know I won. I know I'm the better fighter. Manny Pacquiao spoke about that he shouldn't have.
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
Because it's a time and a place for everything. I'm not gonna say he's right and I'm not gonna say he's wrong. You know, but it's so crazy. When he spoke about it, I could have easily came out and said, yeah, you spoke about it. I ain't have to say nothing. Just by you saying my name, they gave me a check for $4 million. He said my name when he didn't supposed to. Remember I said it's a time and a place for any and everything.
Their feud even spilled into the courtroom in 2009 when Manny Pacquiao filed a defamation lawsuit against Floyd Mayweather over public accusations that Pacquiao had used steroids. Although the case was eventually settled, the bitterness it left behind only deepened their long-standing rivalry. Their battle for legacy wasn't limited to the ring. It extended into press conferences, interviews, and legal disputes, turning their Cold War into one of boxing's most personal and enduring conflicts.
Phil and Dan, what is Pacquiao hoping to accomplish with this lawsuit?
Well, I know that the negotiations for this fight have been ongoing, but I just got off the telephone with Daniel Petrocelli, who is the attorney for Manny Pacquiao, literally moments before coming on the air, and I asked him that exact question. And his point was, regardless of whether or not they're negotiating this fight, that that the comments that they alleged that the Mayweather people had made were irresponsible and reckless and malicious, and they had to answer it no matter what. And so they felt like they had no choice but to file the lawsuit, regardless of whether or not the fight takes place.
Dan, from the outside, it looks like both camps could be potentially hyping up this fight more. What's your read on this?
That is absolutely not true, and I can understand because of the history of what goes.
Regardless of the current controversies, Manny Pacquiao's career achievements remain unparalleled. He is the only boxer in history to have won titles in 8 different weight classes, spanning an incredible range from flyweight all the way up to light middleweight. This remarkable feat solidifies his place as one of the greatest and most versatile fighters the sport has ever seen.
Also has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Think about, by the way, I don't think he wins that argument. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position. But Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, Sam Langford, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, whoever else you want to mention, put Pacquiao's resume up to those guys. Bill James, the great baseball sabermetrician, had a way of ranking baseball players that I came across as a kid and thought, that's really smart. You have to rank them at their best and then also over the course of their careers. Because when you have that argument, are you talking about who accomplished the most or what heights did they reach? What peak did they reach?
Promoter Eddie Hearn has acknowledged Manny Pacquiao's greatness, but didn't shy away from addressing the risks involved with him returning at 45, especially after years of inactivity. Hearn expressed genuine concern that Pacquiao may not be able to live up to the high expectations set by his legendary career, given the physical challenges that come with age and time away from the ring.
It's a very contentious subject, like, you know, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, you know, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. You know, and that's why, you know, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually, Pacquiao is a step up. You know, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots. You know, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Former champion Tim Bradley shared similar doubts about Manny Pacquiao's return, going as far as to suggest that this fight feels more like a cash grab than a meaningful sporting endeavor. Bradley pointed out that Mario Barrios, Pacquiao's upcoming opponent, has the momentum, youth, and skill to potentially end Pacquiao's career in a brutal fight.
I feel about him.
For Bradley, this fight isn't just a risky proposition for Pacquiao. It's potentially harmful to the Filipino icon's health and legacy.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One, two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they've got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
There's deep symbolism in Pacquiao's decision to target the WBC welterweight title once again. The WBC was the organization that first crowned him champion when he rose to global prominence, and by aiming for this belt again, Pacquiao seems to be looking to bring his career full circle. If he manages to defeat Mario Barrios, the boxing world could be on the verge of witnessing a potential mega clash with Gervonta Tank Davis. Both are explosive southpaws with massive fan bases, and this hypothetical matchup would surely capture global attention, offering Pacquiao one last super fight to headline before he calls it a career.
Gervonta Tank Davis has a 6 to 7 fight deal with the PBC and Amazon for $200 million. That's like $30 million a fight. All right. He also has a fight date for November. El Rayo team has said they're not fighting this year. So he's not the guy. So the question is, who is the guy who is willing to fight Tank by November and could build the fight into a fight worth $30 million? Y'all must be out y'all minds if y'all think that Manny Pacquiao versus Gervonta Tank Davis isn't a huge fight. That'll probably be his biggest fight ever. Y'all know that's a big fight because the boxing fan today, they know Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. That's who they know.
Pacquiao's return follows a growing trend among boxing legends. Mayweather did it, Mike Tyson did it, and now Pacquiao is next in line. These comebacks often generate significant buzz, but they also raise serious concerns about the fighters' safety and their legacies. Critics argue that these boxing icons risk tarnishing their long-standing reputations for the sake of a paycheck, potentially leaving behind a legacy that's more defined by their returns than by their peak achievements.
Barrios versus Manny. This is some bullshit. If this is real, I'm not sure if it's real. Barrios fighting Manny Pacquiao. This is some bullshit right here. Manny Pacquiao he hasn't been a pro in a minute, and they're coming back to fight someone for a belt. Barrios technically should win, but this isn't fair.
It looks like you've shared the same text again. Is there something specific you'd like to discuss or expand on regarding Pacquiao's return and the trend of comebacks among boxing legends? I'd be happy to dive deeper into any aspect of it.
We could have Brian Norman Jr. versus Barrios, but we're getting Manny Pacquiao versus Barrios. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Manny Pacquiao is past his prime. He's not in his fighting years no more. And then can he make 147? And then you're letting him fight for the belt. To me, that doesn't make any type of sense. And then if he beats Barrios, let's say hypothetically he beats him, is he gonna unify? Cause Boost, that's sitting in the lamb to the slaughter. Brian Norman, that's sitting in the lamb to the slaughter. This doesn't make no sense. These young fighters, they can really hurt. They can really hurt Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao couldn't even handle Ugas. Just think about how this is all playing out. It doesn't make sense. This fight shouldn't be made. There's other fighters that Barrios can fight.
Thanks for sharing. I hope the video goes well. If you need help with anything else in the future, feel free to reach out. Stay tuned for more great content ahead.